to learn something. We're not content with just the headlines or the typical talking points.
It's a refreshingly honest conversation about what's going on.
It's about connecting our community and doing something to really make a difference.
We're taking today's stories and bringing positivity back.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Take 5. I'm Michelle, this is Jordan, Angela, Chris.
Hi.
We're so glad to see you. And don't forget, you're the 5th member of our team. So you can text us right now at 448-4545. Just put it in your contacts list. That'll make it really
Someone
easy.
told me, they says, you have to say 206.
Oh,
And I said, why?
206, you're
and I'm
right.
reminded, look at so many of these text messages we get are from area codes outside of the area. 1,500 people a week moving here. So
It's true.
206, that's where you can find us, yeah.
We're getting a lot of comments too on a bunch of different stories.
We should look at a couple of these. You guys have been texting us about various topics. We're going to put them up on the screen here. Here's one that says, hey, I'm new to the area. As mentioned, just wanted to say the information learning this week. Infertility is a blessing. My husband and I have been trying for almost 7 years without any luck. I believe in giving up, but faith is being restored by all this information your segments were giving. And of course, they're happy for you, Michelle, as well. So we've already responded to that text as well. We got a lot of great information this week. Keep hope alive. As Michelle shared with us just this week, took you guys 9 years, right?
9 years, yep. And so our 10th anniversary, we will be hopefully this close to having a baby.
It's the best.
Yeah.
This is the best. And just in time for football season. He'll be here. All right. I know what jersey I'm getting.
Let me just say, the best time to get pregnant if you work in news is February, because then you get November off because you're going to have the baby. That means you get Christmas off, Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's not going to work for
New Year's
us.
Eve.
And you know what? You are due in November.
I am doing November.
Yeah, she's got it all figured out. Strategy.
So we know where we're going to be.
Yeah.
Well, look, I don't know if you've seen this on social media. A lot of people talking about the 4 black women in Pennsylvania who found themselves making headlines when, because of an incident on the golf course. Now, one of them says that she's not ruling out a lawsuit. If you're just now hearing about this, here's the deal. These 4 women were golfing at the Grandview Golf Club in York County, Pennsylvania, when the owners told them they were playing too slowly and asked them to leave. Then the women who are members, they refused. That's when the owners called police. The ladies say they're part of a golfing club and they're experienced. They understand the etiquette and they claim they were keeping pace with everyone else.
We're followed, we were watched, we were timed, we were harassed, and we were kicked off and told they didn't want our money or membership.
Yeah, and that was Sandra Thompson talking. And besides being an amateur golfer, she's also the president of the NAACP in that county, and she's also a civil rights attorney. She says she has yet to receive an apology from the men who confronted them.
Inexcusable.
Wow.
Inexcusable.
Yeah, and this is
hard.
the same state where there were the Starbucks incident recently.
Well, I know, like, being a golfer, you're out there, you do have to keep up, right? Like, there's people behind you, you can either wait out of the way and let them
called
play
playing
through,
through.
right? Playing through, or you just got to keep up your pace, pick up the ball and keep going. So the unfortunate part, as she was saying, people were watching her and timing her. That doesn't typically happen. You know, you don't time
That's
people,
ridiculous.
you just keep up with the
No,
flow and
and-
everything's supposed to work.
Yeah, and the other thing about this, I mean, every time, because I've had women give me advice about learning to golf, and they always say to me, the number one thing, keep the pace.
keep the
And so
pace.
these women, if they're part of a golfing club, they know that. So I just can't imagine they would, violate it. But
It sounds kind of silly, but I'm glad that it happened to them because they have voices,
Yeah,
and very
that's a
strong
great point.
voices. They're they know the game of golf. They know their stuff. They're a civil rights attorney. I mean, come on. So I just feel like they have a voice and they can educate a lot of
that's
people.
an excellent point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
excellent
mean, hate to see it happen to anybody.
Of course. No, I totally get what you mean. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, time now for the second round of stories you need to know. Fast 5. All right, you guys ready for this? 5 quick headlines happening right now. First, the maker of a popular e-cigarette, it's called Juul, says it will spend $30 million to keep its product out of the kids' hands. It's great. Just yesterday, the DA questioned how the company designed and markets its product. The e-cigarette is popular with teens right now, and Juul also said it supports legislation to raise the minimum wage for vaping to 21. The Supreme Court hearing the last oral argument on the Trump administration's travel ban. Now, the White House has called it a move by the executive branch to protect its nation, but opponents say it's a ban on Muslims. So a decision on this is expected before the end of June. And a federal judge in Spokane issued a permanent injunction blocking the Trump administration from cutting grants to Planned Parenthood. The grants pay for teen pregnancy prevention program in a number of states. And get this, Alaska Airlines travelers, you now have a more affordable seat option next year. So the airline is adding something called Basic Economy Fare. It'll be added in January. It'll be more affordable, but it's super bare bones, non-refundable. You won't be able to be available for upgrades or anything like that, but you can travel a little bit more cost effectively. Remember former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer? Of course you do. He was back on the job today, kind of. He revealed the new wax figure of First Lady Melania Trump's New York Madame Tussauds, at Madame Tussauds. She stands next to her husband in the museum's Oval Office. Interesting to get back to work and do that. Thanks, Sean Spicer.
They really captured the.
Look at that.
They called him Spicy on SNL, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that looked like, I don't know. It seems like they made Melania look a little angry there in that image.
They
I
both
don't
look a
know.
little angry, but it seems to be the thing lately, right? They're always terribly uncomfortable around each other. So, ooh, I didn't even know those were statues until you said what that was going on.
Yeah, they got Trump's neckline pretty good with that.
Now,
little
look, I don't want to cause a panic, but starting tomorrow, the Seahawks will take over the town again. We all know this,
Right.
right?
Yay.
Here we are. We're on the eve of the NFL draft, so you get to start wearing your Seahawks jersey again tomorrow without everybody looking at you like you're wearing socks and sandals. We want to get you up to speed on all things Seahawks in our 2-minute drill. And we'll start with a former Seahawk, Paul Richardson, now playing in the other Washington. He was walking on sunshine after he signed that $40 million contract with the Redskins, but he's not feeling the love this week. Richardson was pulled over by the police yesterday, and he tweeted a concerning reaction. We want to show you the tweet here. We're going to show it to you on the screen. He says, you know, I've had this car 2 weeks. It's amazing. An officer gave me a ticket for only having temporary registration. Skip to the bottom one. That's more important. That's about a couple minutes later. Just got pulled over by Virginia police on a toll lane. Before asking my name, he asked if I was in a gang, and then minutes later told me that he thought I was a dealer, a.k.a. drugs. Welcome to the East Coast. So I should point out he has since deleted that tweet, but he did say basically put up another tweet saying that he did not handle that the right way. Seahawks coach Pete Carroll, he has been quiet for months now, right? That's kind of what he does in the offseason. He resurfaced this week with some pointed words for a few departed stars like Richard Sherman. With what's expected, he also said, and the best thing I can tell you is that they're not here, end quote, from Pete Carroll. Ooh. Pete also sent an exclusive gift and a tweet directed to Kanye West. Yeezy, he's planning to launch a new Adidas shoe line. Coach Carroll says, I got something better than that. He's known for his shoe game there. He dropped a pair of his Nike Air Monarchs in the mail. No word yet from Yeezy if he's going to be wearing those. And by the way, don't just laugh at the dad shoes. Pete owns that situation. He has a pair of them currently available on eBay right now for $2,950. Those are the ones they make just for Pete.
Wow.
So you can't buy those. And by the way, one for the road here, an interesting look at the Hawks' schedule this season. I ripped this one right from King5.com today. The team closest to Seattle is only 801 miles away this season, but the Seahawks will have to fly over 4,700 miles to face them. Ooh, the Hawks facing the Raiders in London, October 14th. That would have been such an easy flight, but they're going to get together over in London. I hope they get their frequent flyer miles because ESPN reporting the Hawks, the Raiders, the Rams, they have the most travel distance on the road this season. Those three teams will travel over 30,000 miles coming up in 2018. Some teams not even traveling 10,000 miles. So it's going to be a busy one for the Seahawks. They're going to be on the road a whole lot.
I'm going to add you to the investigators. That was good stuff.
We'll dive deep into that. We'll find out exactly what's going on. Yeah.
What did you say?
I forgot my referee
She
whistle.
said, hey, you're going to do the
sorry.
2-minute drill. Can I have the ref whistle? I said, yes.
I forgot to bring it down. Shoot.
Next
That
time.
was cool, though.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into the Five Hive. We haven't done that yet today.
Sure.
That, of course, is our social community that we built right for this show. You know what? This is a great place to give your loved ones a shout out so we can feature them on the show. Or, you know, maybe you just want to talk about some of the topics that we are talking about today. But I want to show you this because I want to give a shout out to 6-year-old Blake. And I want to get this right because he's a kindergartner at Glacier Park Elementary in Maple Valley. And he has a rare disease. This is him right there. See him? pretty sure that's him. He's got a rare disease called Fanconi anemia that calls for a bone marrow transplant. Super cute, but because Blake is about to miss 2 months of school, his classmates wanted to send him off in style as he heads to Seattle Children's. So they all dressed up today, wearing special shirts, and even some of the teachers wore superhero costumes. So Blake, if you're watching this with your family, we want you to know that we are all thinking about you. We are all wishing the best for you, and we want you to have a superhero transplant, recovery from the transplant, and of course we're all just sending you a big hug. By the way, also, if you want to help or just read about Blake's journey, you can do this right here in our 5 Hive. Very easy. Just search for Take 5 on Facebook. You can also text Hive to 448-4545, and we'll give you a direct link right in here. But isn't Blake so cute? I hope his mom is watching, because we had her send some pictures in today. But he's such a good kid, and all of his pictures are so cute. We posted some of him like in I think he was in a Batman costume earlier. So I wish him the best.
Honestly, when I saw that story, I thought about that's what school should be.
Yeah,
When we
absolutely.
support each other and we're there for each other, and just what a great example it is to all of us. So I appreciate. Who was it? Was his
cute.
family who shared that in the Hive?
Well, someone from his school shared it. to
Okay,
us.
that
Thanks
was
for
very
sharing.
cool. Thanks for
Thank
capturing
you.
that. And you know, one of our 5 Hive members actually told us about another story. It actually came from the Seattle Public Schools website at Thurgood Marshall Elementary. It's a wish tree, and the community leaves messages of peace and hope on the tree. And it was inspired after the school read this book called Wish Tree. And it's about how a community responded with love after someone carved this nasty message in a tree. So Applegate, the author, actually visited the school earlier this month, and this is a picture of her reading one of the notes.
Oh my gosh.
And so yeah, it was like, you know, these kids were inspired by this book, and they decided to put their wishes on a tree.
love that.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Let
so
'em fly.
doing some good things. Go teachers for encouraging all this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about a lot of stuff going on, and of course, we're just paving the way for King 5 News. And Jordan is standing by with one of the veteran anchors. I'm told, Jordan.
Yes, we're here with Lori Matsukawa. How are you?
I'm doing really well.
Doing really well. So she's kind of excited. You're talking about the NFL draft coming up.
Yes, we are. But first, we're going to do a story on King 5 News at 5 about people who pay less than minimum wage to employees who have disabilities. Now, there's a
Okay.
new law that says you can't do that. You can't pay less than minimum wage to people with disabilities. But now parents of those people are worried that their kids are going to be laid off and not have any work options at all because, you know, they're going to have to be paid $15 an hour.
Right.
So we're going to have a little discussion about that kind of touchy issue.
Okay.
And then about
then-
the NFL draft, we're going to have an exclusive interview with UW defensive tackle Vita Vea, who is probably going to go in the first round.
Yes.
No
some-
doubt.
some
Almost no doubt.
predict maybe even top 10.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I mean, he's
That
awesome.
world is going to change.
So we have this exclusive interview. Chris Egan is going to talk to Vita about why this gentle giant, he's like 350 pounds, is so desirable. Every team wants him.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lori.
All right.
Well, coming up next here, before you get over to Lori Matsukawa, I believe it has to do with marijuana and potentially infertility. So we're still keeping that trend of Infertility Week. So interesting story on the other side.